going when Nick is ready.
We are ready. We are live. Hello, everyone. I am not ready mentally for this because I'm full of the giggles tonight. Welcome back to our Friday night stream. This is going to be the last one for some time until probably around middle January. Isn't that right, Derek Daddy?
Yeah, either the 11th or the 18th. No, sorry, the 10th or the 17th. That kind of time frame.
To be determined.
To be determined.
But yes, we continue on our Removing the Mathis Curse campaign. We were in a little bit of a predicament. So I'm going to start and say my name is Kixix. I am a tiefling barbarian. And, dang, that dragon's looking hella thick. That's just me, though. I don't know how everyone else is feeling, so I'm going to pass it on to someone who might want to tell me. How about we go with Kevin this time?
I play Bosco. I'm a divine soul sorcerer doggo, and also a representative of the Celestial Bureau of Familiar Affairs. And I, for one, would like to be somewhere this dragon is not. Because I am crunchy and taste good with ketchup.
But he hella thick, though.
So then we will go to, let's mix it up and go to Katie, who is represented by a bear.
Hi, I'm Katie. I play Taika Ashton. She is a bear shifter, warlock, and she has a fox familiar. And then Rosie.
Oh, hi. My name is August Avara. I am human. I am also a wizard. And if I ever level, I'm gonna be a necromancer. No dig at the DM. No dig at the DM. I do want to level though. Please let me level. Anyway, and I want a ghost monkey, and I see dead people, and yeah, that's about it. God.
God.
Yes. On Friday nights for 2 hours or so, I am God. It shifts off to somebody else later, but no. I'm Derek, and I kind of referee this game. We're trying to move away from like running and ruling because that really isn't in the point of all of this. So,
control is an illusion.
Yeah. So especially when you're dealing with Nick. Hi, Nick.
Oh. All right.
No. Yes.
Thanks.
So no. Yes. Yeah. So last time, our group kind of sidetracked themselves away from heading to the city by seeing this carnival that was happening, and by August actually seeing a man in a black robe lead a group of children off into the woods. And immediately when they heard about children off into the woods, their hero genes kicked in, and they're like, it's time to go save some children. Yeah. And when they traveled through the woods, they came to a grave, an unmarked cemetery. And in this unmarked cemetery, they found like a doorway that led down. And then they got on a little in this area after Kixix tried to shove 30 feet of rope through a hole. Yes,
I like that. That's what ended up in your notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know it was a hole in the wall. I thought it was a hole in the floor. I was really confused.
Yeah. They opened the door, and then they took the worst knockoff of It's a Small World ride down past this to where they found a cult of kobolds who were worshipping a lazy black dragonborn, and quite possibly a large black dragon in the background. They were offered some, the kobolds, being good hosts, offered them a drink, and everybody refused. And I just don't understand why A polite offer of a drink is never accepted, but we'll figure that out a bit later.
Cause we don't want to be meth heads.
There was a little bit of a discussion. There's a very cultish nature to these kobolds, dancing around, constantly shouting that they love death, which is normal stuff. When they arrived, they found this a large treasure hoard and a large black dragon who basically wanted to make the group or asked the group to go further down in this series of tunnels and to locate a harp that it was looking for. We kind of stopped. We kind of stopped there. With kind of a little bit of a mixed party reaction. Some people are eager to possibly help this dragon or free this dragon or figure out a way, and others were very much against that and thought a hasty retreat was a much better option. So let's set the scene again. You're in this large cavern, piles of treasure around. In the center of this large cavern is this black dragon, somewhat curled up, has come to its feet to kind of look at you, to have this discussion with you. Further back beyond it is like a natural cave that leads deeper into this thing. Back behind you guys is a couple dozen intoxicated kobolds and one very well fed, but obviously very lazy black dragonborn.
What would happen if I tried to lick the dragonborn?
Ew.
I don't know.
It doesn't even wash.
You're absolutely welcome to try, but I couldn't tell you what to do. And right now, my puppy is in the corner.
The option is making me nervous.
Yeah.
So
Enjoy your fungus.
My puppy is in the corner, dreaming, with the nice little whines and the feet kicking. So, yeah. She had a busy day today.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, so this is where we are, and this is where we're going to start off. I asked behind the scenes. I asked a couple of people to make a couple of rolls to get some additional information that I hadn't given them before. They're now aware of this stuff. So now I turn to you and I say, what are we going to do? Let's look at this in a situation where you're not yet in an initiative because you haven't really. There's no instigating.
We better not be an initiative.
Right.
There's no instigating aspect to that yet. So it's kind of free up for you guys to kind of decide what you want to do.
I kind of want to tell the dragon you have a really nice looking behind area, and that it's super scrumptious, and just leave it at that, and see how he reacts.
You're hitting on the dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
When you say that,
I'm just going with my roll earlier, so
yeah. When you say that, why don't you make a persuasion check?
Oh, cool. I don't have my character sheet up.
No.
Let me take.
I would just like to move several feet away from Kixic while this is happening.
Okay,
You're probably
yeah.
like, what this fucking weirdo is.
A black dragon's breath
That
weapon
is
away.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I have-
So you're just gonna. It's a line of acid, right? I think. Not
Yeah.
a cone,
I
it's a
don't need to
line.
be too far away. I think that's like a 10-foot wide, but yeah.
So I got
10,
a
15 feet.
14 plus 1, so that's a 15.
Okay. We're gonna sit on that number for just a moment.
Oh. That's me, alright.
Okay. 5 foot wide, 60-foot long line. Yeah. So you only have to be really like an additional 5 feet away from him.
That's fine.
Stop.
Okay. So Bosco steps back. Kixic starts to compliment the dragon, and it cranes its neck down, looks at him, and he goes, you know, I like you, and that's why I'm gonna name you my personal hero. If you do this thing that I ask you to do for me. Down the hall. Yeah, down the hall, just a little bit, not too far from here, there's a harp. You get that harp, you bring it back to me, and we're square. You could take, you know what? My hero, you could take anything you want from that hoard over there.
All I want is you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, this is so fun.
Flattery. I like that. So just hear me out. Bring back the harp, and you know what? We can make arrangements even for that. I agree. Yeah, we could do even
I'm just
that.
gonna use Mage Hand to tug like on the back of August and take a shirt and just like try to like pull them back away towards the exit while Kixic is being distracting.
Yeah.
This
So
is a beautiful
kicking
love
off
story.
that-
Don't interrupt it.
As you guys start to back off towards the exit, you also then realize, Bosco, the exit is kind of really jam packed with drunken kobolds right now. So it's either.
So, did we notice that thing that we noticed?
Yes, of course.
Do you need to be rescued?
And then he looks at you, shifting away from Kixic. He puts his head down and goes, Do I look? And there's like, you notice like a little wink that I need to be rescued. Do I look like I need to be rescued? Look, it kind of points off like the wing and arm back towards all those cults. I got loyal followers. I've got everything I need except for a harp.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you get a feeling there's a
He needs
bit of
something from the harp to escape, apparently.
yeah, there's a bit of a hidden message in that, yeah.
He just needs a big old kiss on the lips.
But, like, why would he not be able to say that he needs rescued, but he'd be able to say that he needs a harp? Because if they know that he needs a harp and that a harp is the key to get rescued...
Maybe
I'm
they're
so confused!
Rosie, maybe they're stupid.
No.
Never know.
Maybe you're stupid!
Now, this is the first dragon Bosco has encountered. So I'm kind of curious how this squares up with common knowledge of dragons.
Okay.
Are they all insane?
Well, I'm gonna make this a little easier for you, Bosco. It's not the first dragon you've ever met. This is the first chromatic dragon you've ever met. In Metawild, there are a fair share of metallic dragons that are known that actually do business in the area and have often gone to different schools and probably to your museum several times. So you've maybe had discussions with some of the coppers or something, but those are all kind of studious and kind of intelligent and level-headed dragons.
Okay.
These guys, from what you've heard, this dragon is not at all like the traditional black dragon. In fact, because most black dragons would have already eaten all of you by now and wouldn't be asking for a favor from anybody.
So it is just Bosco's and Walter's combined coincidental experience that all dragons are insane.
At least all of them that you've met, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
second. All right.
Yeah. Oh, and there is a reason for that. And if you roll me an Arcana check, you might actually remember partially why there is that.
I'm going to go with a dirty 20.
You don't know all of the like nitty-gritty specifics, but in the last battle against the Red Overseer, this gigantic extraplanar red dragon that's been a hassle to this world for many, many years, there was an attempt by the God of Magic and several others to place kind of a controlling spell on him to keep him imprisoned. Unfortunately, it had a dramatic effect on all dragons, and it kind of scrambled some of their brains a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't yet found a way to kind of reverse that. So you have, especially certain times of year, certain times of season, certain events, more like kind of around the time where something like Abigail exploded and the doors were open, kind of thing. Around those time periods, some dragons have a bit more of a hard time keeping kind of a focus.
Right.
And you've just had some unlucky timing in meeting some dragons.
Yeah. I don't like
But this doesn't,
them.
but to you, this doesn't seem like that. This seems like there's something more to this situation, and it's not just like the dragon problem. It's and then having seen what you saw earlier with the medical and the partial symbols, there's a bit more to this than just the.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well,
So, what's the plan, guys? Do we want to
We're
get
gonna
this?
go to fucking heart.
Yes. As long as I can
It's
give
right
that dragon
there.
a big ol' kiss, then I think I'll be good to go.
It's so if you're interested in the harp, it's seriously, it's you go down right behind me. Yeah.
Say no more. I'll
a
lead
couple-
the charge.
Is this the game where I have the broom?
No.
Nope.
No.
No, that's Sundays. That's Sunday night.
I can't remember.
And
I was gonna say, I'll just go right over there, zoom in, zoom out, we good.
I find the simplicity of the request intimidating because there has to be more problems with this.
Well,
worry.
of course, it's gonna be like in a tricky chamber or something. We're gonna get smushed between two walls into trash.
I
And
thought you were gonna say in a
squid.
Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm like, oh god, that's a worse place.
Yeah, this is definitely not the jail we're supposed to be visiting.
I'm okay with
Well,
it.
we got sidetracked, and it's like 2 days to get to the surface, so we're pretty much fucking stuck here until we find the second exit.
Yeah, let's do that.
Dave, we wandered down here in like 10 minutes.
it's not 2 days. It's
2 days.
you won't. Okay, you'd have to row against a current if you wanted to take the boat back up. But there was a little path along the side, so you'd be able to walk up in a few hours.
I mean, the boat was on
Excuse me, I am not walking out of this dungeon the same way. This is not Skyrim. I'm going out a different exit.
I mean, oh my god.
He goes, but if you're not interested in getting the harp, we're going to have a feast in a couple of hours if you'd like to stay and
Be dinner? No, I'm good.
No. We are all going to have a feast in a few hours. You'll be welcome to stay.
Will there be plenty of purple drink?
I just kind of want to go.
Stop being a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, stop being a fucking bitch. Let's just go and
Don't make me bring you to the vet.
Okay, cool. I'll go get the goddamn harp, and I'll just stomp away towards the harp.
Do you want to go to the vet?
Yeah,
Okay,
do you want to go to the vet?
Kicks makes his way around the dragon and just stomps off towards where the harp is supposed to be.
I'm being a fucking
child
right now.
Anybody gonna follow that?
I'm following him.
Yeah.
You come with us or you go back.
Yeah. you go in the fucking kennel in the living room, like.
You want to go in the crate.
The first thing that you notice about this tunnel is almost immediately after the chamber, the ground gets soft and muddy,
Well,
and there are
disgusting.
several well, there's too many to actually count. Like cobalt tracks, they kind of go over each other, and they're all in various different directions, and the mud is just all churned up by. Obviously, many kobolds have come through this area.
Well, there don't seem to be any
Yeah.
kobolds in here now, so
No, and as you go, you do find that there are some torches lit in this area that are putting off a very noxious kind of fume. It's almost like somebody is burning not oil, but more like body fat.
Gross.
Like,
damn, that's better than cardio. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the I'm gonna have to
I
say
see
that's
what
a
you
no
did
from me, dog. Honestly, they're burning body fat. It burns body
Yeah.
fat.
It looks like it looks like they probably
It's a
use
liposuction
some sort
on
of
a fucking torch.
fat or something from some sort of animal,
Oh.
and they've like treated these torches with it, and it's lit using that, so it's producing this noxious gas kind of, and like a dark black smoke
This is pretty much how Fight Club starts.
by making soap.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
but don't make soap. That's how you start a fight club.
Yes. That's how you start a Fight Club.
Yeah.
Rule 1, make soap.
Oh my
Rule
god.
2.
Yeah, beat the
Yeah.
shit out of someone. Make a bar of homemade soap.
So as you go,
Beautiful.
this is at least for now, for at least the first 80 feet that you go, it's just this mucky, muddy, straight tunnel. The edges of this tunnel, though, they're super. They look like they've been worn down over many, many years by something just rubbing against them. And as you get past this about 80 feet, it opens up to a larger cavern, and in the center of this cavern, on this pedestal, is a harp. Next to the pedestal is a small, it looks like a puddle / pond. You're not quite sure. It's about 10 feet wide. You don't know exactly how deep it is from here, and it looks like it's all coming from water that's dripping directly above it and settling at the bottom. All of these footsteps seem to come around to the edge of this pond and then disappear. Now, that's on towards the left side. Towards the right side, you don't see any footsteps at all. Like, that ground seems to have been undisturbed for at least, for long enough that there's no visible markings of anything walking on the right-hand side. And all of the footsteps, like you said, on the left-hand side, once they get to this pond, they disappear.
Can we throw a pebble in it?
Sure. Or something,
Yeah.
anything.
See if Happy Hogan comes out.
Happy Hogan.
So I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna throw said pebble into the pond, see what happens.
So you toss the pebble into the pond, and you hear it strike the surface. You hear that little splashing sound, and you wait, and you give it just a little longer, and nothing seems to happen.
Kix, go stick your arm in there.
Okay, I'll go stick my arm in there.
Triple
Okay.
fucking dog dare you. No
Okay.
offense.
So you're going to go stick your arm in there?
Yeah, I'm gonna be adventurous. Fuck it.
Okay. Kicks it, goes over, reaches down into the pond, and the very first thing, as your arm gets in there, something slimy swims by it.
It's not the sword of Gryffindor.
I shiver and I let out a moan and I say, "Oh, that was not okay." There is something in here that it felt like an eel, but with butter. It was really gross.
Does anybody have a fishing rod?
That's a good description, like an eel with butter.
Wait, why are we even fucking with this? Try to take the heart.
Because it's
let's
pure
fuck with
body
the
fat
giant
that's in the
puddle
leg.
instead of just. We find out the harp's completely free for the
How-
taking.
The harp is made from butter.
Does the harp weigh more than 10 pounds? And I will test this by grabbing it with Mage Hand and trying to yank it over here.
When you put your mage hand out onto the harp, you have no difficulty. It's not like a full stand-up harp. It's more like a kind of a personal, smaller kind of travel harp. You have no problem lifting it off the stand. You have no problem with it coming your way. But as you do that, Kixik, I need you to make a dex save.
You got this. You got this.
I got this. Yeah, I got this. Oh, that's a nat 20. I do got this.
Boom!
So you managed to pull your arm out just in time as 3 sickly green and black tentacles. They don't have anything on them. They just look like they don't have suckers or anything on them. They're just thick tentacles come shooting out of the water. And kind of wave in front of you, like they were trying to grab, onto you. But you were there to do that, and you get the harp closer, and then the next thing that you see is 2. They're basically the front legs of like a frog come out of the side of this pond. And as the rest of this thing starts to come up, you see 2 large eyes with like the black pupil center, but the color, the edges around these are a mixture of gold and black, and it's all like they're an arcane runes. Like in the eyes of this frog, there are arcane runes on the sides of it, and as it lifts the rest of the body comes out, it's got this mouthful of tentacles just hanging out of its mouth, and it pushes itself up onto very muscular, oddly deformed feet in such a way that it can stand up like a humanoid, even though its rest of its body is frog-like.
This is fucking nasty.
So I'm gonna look at this thing and be like,
give me a big old carrot.
I don't know, and I'm gonna basically like look up and down, and just be like, damn, those legs are thick. But I'm just gonna be like, nope, and I'm gonna turn around and walk away.
So as you attempt to make your exit,
listen, honey.
Checking out the disgusting.
Listen, honey. I'm not in the mood for tentacles and your big calves. So,
one of those tentacles just smacks you on the back of the head for 4 points of damage.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere completely different. I was gonna be like,
smack you on the booty.
I'd be really okay with the other.
Yeah.
But
I need you to make a dexterity save, as it appears to be trying to wrap around your throat.
Oh, God, kinky. That is a 14.
You guys just got the safe word first.
You just managed to get out of the range of this thing.
I'll turn around and scream,
it is
safe word first.
And as it's fully come out of the water, it made that strike at you, and now the rest of you can obviously attempt to do something.
Let's run.
You do get the harp to come to you, but your lack of actual hands makes it hard for it to do anything but float right in front of you with your mage
I'm going
hand.
to just push that right into Kixik's arm.
Run, guys, run!
Oh, okay, sure. I'll take it.
Back to the dragon.
Okay.
Don't
And
fucking do that.
So you're gonna start, August. You're gonna start running. Bosco, you're gonna start running. Kixik.
Where's Katie?
I'm gonna like fumble a little bit with the harp, be like and then start running because
So,
I see them running away.
So, Taika, what are you gonna do?
I am running.
Okay,
I'll
so
ask
Bitch,
girl.
I'm running.
everybody starts running. Everybody starts running, and then this frog creature starts to run.
Oh
But
fuck!
Okay, he's the dragon's problem. As soon as we get there,
It stops for a second,
Yes.
and then, like a cat, you see it
Oh no! Ew.
and a partially digested kobold falls out of it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Keep running. Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your meal.
And it looks down at its meal. It looks up at you guys, and you see for a moment this glimmer of, are they going to be tastier than this thing that I just threw up, or am I going to finish this back up?
No, I taste like
And-
ass,
Finish
so
that.
don't eat
We're
me.
out of here.
as I'm running away, I'm going to use my minor illusion cantrip to not create a chalkboard with words on, but create a kobold standing in the middle of the passageway, and I'm going to keep running.
So, do you attempt? Here's a question: do you attempt to make this kobold as close to the ones that you've seen outside, or just what is in your vision of a kobold?
Oh, one of the kobolds up in the other
The coast, yeah,
easily predated upon.
Solo cup.
Yeah.
Solo cup.
exactly. Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Well, technically, they're like they're small animal skulls and like just regular bowls and stuff. But yeah, solo cup's pretty much the idea of what they're
he's
doing.
got a t-shirt with the sleeves torn off. I just want to make him look as like trashy and edible as possible.
That's a groupie.
Okay.
Eat it.
That's a groupie.
Yeah, so there is this moment where it seems to be looking at you guys, looking at the food that it's just kind of tossed up, and it jumps like up into the air and lands right down on the food that it had partially digested and just starts to eat that. You guys start to get back out, you're coming down this hall, and then you see it jump, make another leap at Bosco's illusion. And when it comes down onto the illusion, there's like a roar, and you see like a flash come from these arcane eyes of this creature.
Oh my god.
Right before the
And-
illusionary kobold is crushed, it's just going to give a thumbs up and a smile.
And you get this sense that whatever this thing just didn't go quite what it was expecting to do, because a moment later you see the back end of these massive deformed like frog legs sticking out of the tunnel wall, like blocking across, whereas the rest of the body seems to be integrated into the tunnel.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And you smell, strangely, the whole room smells like honeysuckles.
I literally don't care. Bye.
I will not have time to ponder that.
Yeah, I'm running.
Okay, and you make your
I don't have
make
time
your
to
way out.
ponder that.
You make your way out, and you make your way into the tunnel. And as you come in here, even though you're only gone less than a minute, there's a full-out brawl going on. All those kobolds that were kind of blocking your exit before, they're now just like, they saw the harp, and now they're all fighting each other to get over to the harp, but they're intoxicated, and they're clearly fighting each other to see who's going to survive to get to the harp.
That's unfortunate.
Good thing I have burning hands ready. So
Good
let's
thing
keep
I-
running to the dragon.
Yeah.
Yep. So now you're basically behind the dragon. The dragon goes to turn to look at what's going on, and it sees that you have the harp. And goes, good, quick, like use it.
Oh. I'll go ahead and I'll just like strum it Like,
give me a performance check. I know you probably don't have that skill.
I have a +1 in it. Let's see what I
Oh,
get.
there you go.
Hey, what? How am I gonna show off these muscles effectively? You know?
Don't forget your inspiration.
I don't need it because I got a 15.
Use the harp. Use the harp. Beat a kobold.
Beat a kobold. Take the harp.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of a kobold with a harp.
So you hit you hit these notes on this thing, and your hand goes away, and the harp just keeps playing, and you see this momentary. It's almost like a whole kind of glitch in reality, because the walls of this cavern go from being this wall, this cavern wall, to Bosco. You realize it looks like the very polished granite stone walls of like the moon temples that are in Meadowwild, like high quality, really well cared for, well crafted, and marked magically walls. And then a second later, you see like the dragon starts to convulse and shrink and change form, and you see just that thing around its ankle just slip out, and there is a probably 65-year-old man.
Oh man.
In a very tattered red robe. And right next to him, right next to him is a broken staff. You can tell his left leg is at an odd angle, obviously broken, not set right, at one time, but it's set in place now, but incorrectly. He has one good eye, and his other eye is covered by a bright blue eye patch.
I think he's gonna need a piggyback ride out of here.
And he has
I signed up for a dragon, not an old bitch. Yeah. Sorry.
And his choice of facial hair can best be described as, oh no, I got drunk, I tried to use a razor and messed up completely. He's got one edge of a mustache on his left side. It doesn't start at the center. It starts about the edge of his lip and goes down. The other side is completely bare. He's got like a mutton chop on his right side. He's got like a partial one on his left. But it's all along like this chin strap that he has here. There's like carved lines all through it that do not seem to indicate anything other than just shitty grooming.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like,
it's not
see you later. You're wow.
Be nice.
And it's at that point that you hear like a momentary hiss from the Black Dragonborn, who's now standing up and has
he's one of those kids.
Kind of has pointed a finger at the. Yeah,
he's a horse girl. Oh my god!
has pointed a finger at the gentleman and fires off this ray of green, thickening energy that falls short of the guy.
Careful, he's gonna gallop towards us.
But actually strikes two of the kobolds who in mid-fight turn to stone and then crumble.
Some Medusa shit, yeah.
You guys obviously have some stuff going on here, and
we're gonna fucking leave. Bye.
We're gonna go. So,
where's the exit?
Yeah, just toss him the heart. Let's go.
Exit.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What? So yeah, you start to head out in the melee that's going on, this big fight that's going on. You're actually able to just mosey out with some quickness. Nobody bothers you. Even all the kobolds being intoxicated and fighting each other. They have no interest in you at all. Yes.
Can we take some gold from his little stash pile on the way
Sure.
out?
No one's gonna be stopping you if you want to grab some.
I'm gonna grab like a little handful or two, put them in my pocket, jingle my way out of here.
Okay. Say you're able to grab about 30 gold
Yes, I'm rich.
on your way out.
And while she's grabbing 30 gold, I run about 30 feet.
Fuck you.
So
I don't know what I'm doing.
you've made your way back towards the exit, and you pretty much have that path along the edge that you could follow, or there's the boat there, but because the current is such as it is, you'd have to row against the current, and it's a little hard for you to row at this moment, Bosco. So you have to wait for Kixik, who, what are you doing now, Kixik?
I guess I'm gonna help because, fuck, I was really looking for an exciting time, but now I'm just really disappointed, and I just want to
Rowing is exciting.
Let's go.
I know, and now I want to leave.
Let's
so I
row
guess
our
I'll help
asses
you
to
leave.
jail.
Okay, so you
Grab
have
some gold on the way out.
So here's the question: you have the harp still.
Yeah, I do.
You just played the note. You still have it in your hand. Are you bringing it with you? Are you giving it to the guy? Or are you dropping it? Are you running off? What are you doing?
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Give it to the old guy?
Yeah,
Toss
I
him-
don't want his curse following us.
Okay,
Toss
cool.
it in the middle of the kobold scrum.
I'll whip it out of Kobold's head and see what happens.
Okay, go. Make an attack roll. Go for it.
Shut up!
Okay.
Kevin. Oh my god. That's beautiful. I love it.
Yes.
It's better than Kevin's fucking one word at a time bullshit. Alright, let me. Oh god. Do I get any plus?
Sorry, there was
this?
a GIF that was posted that was
Is that strike?
quite raunchy.
Oh yeah.
It was
It's
It
just
was
it's a regular. You add your add your strength to it. You're just hucking it, right?
Yeah, so that's a +2, so that's a 16. Fucking.
Okay, so you chuck that at the kobold. You hit the first. You hit the first kobold right in the head with it, right? He falls to the ground, and then immediately there is a swarm of kobolds who just pile onto him and onto the harp. The old man's like, "No, no, damn it!" And he goes, "That's it. I've wasted so much time." What are you gonna do, Taika? Are you gonna run with the rest of them?
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Okay. And
This shit.
August,
I'm out.
August,
Fuck this shit. I've been
you're running. So you're the only one that actually gets to see what happens next as you're leaving. The old man reaches into a pouch on his belt, pulls out looks like a handful of dust, blows it in the direction of the kobolds, and immediately like half dozen of them burst into flames.
Dope.
Fuck yeah.
So there's now like flaming kobolds. He's like, "I wanted that harp," and he's like,
you.
you see him like messed up leg and all, just wading towards them, and every kobold that comes in his direction, it's either like just a swift punch from this frail looking arm that actually just knocks a kobold away, or it's a quick spell and something's on fire again. And he's making his way to this stuff, and you're making your way out, and you're now all on this path. Are you getting in the boat and hauling ass, or are you running up the side?
whichever's faster.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
If you can get Kixik to row, you might be able to get out faster that way.
All right.
Oh, he will row.
And I'm
So I
gonna. Yeah.
need.
Wait, isn't
I'll
it on a
need-
track though? Can't we just put it in
I'll
reverse?
There's. It won't work that way. It has to come
okay,
off
wow.
of the thing to go up. So you have to give me an athletics check.
If I
Okay.
use my illusion spell to create like bong, 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 bong drum beats for him to row with, will that help him or just make him feel like he's enslaved?
I'd like it either way. I mean,
the dice say that it might actually make it a little easier for him to get in the rhythm of rowing. So yes, you can use your illusion to give him an audio backing to his task. So why don't you row your first athletics check at advantage?
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it.
That's awesome.
My other thought was to create a megaphone and just yell row at him.
Okay, so that was I rolled a 5 and a 3 plus 4 is 9 to my highest roll.
Okay, so
when I notice we're going backwards, I'm just going to stop and look at him very disappointed.
Doing the
you weren't very on beat.
No, doing the actual rowing, you're not making at this moment. You're not getting backwards, but you're not. You feel you could go a bit faster, but you're just not getting quite what you need. But you are able to go about 30 feet and not 30 feet, about 90 feet, and I need another athletics check. This one without.
Can Mage Hand help push?
No, it doesn't have enough. It doesn't have enough oomph to it.
You can push me. I mean, I don't know what that would do, but
can it help? I don't know if I'll say help him do the oars.
Here, let me try.
Wait,
did you say horse or oars?
So.
Do you say horse or oars?
He said
horse. Okay, cool. Horse. Push the horse. All right, so this
Nick,
roll,
are you hearing things?
Yes. Clearly, I rolled an 8 plus 4, so that's a 12. I'm doing great.
Okay, that's actually better. It's not that difficult. At this point, the incline's not that great of an incline just yet. So you get it. You get up to a reasonable speed, and you can't see anything up behind you. And then you find that this incline is starting to get quite a challenge. So, but you are seeing like the end of the line is not too far away. A couple more rounds, and you can get the boat back up. So, you're gonna need another check now.
Oh God. What? Oh wait, another athletics check.
Another athletics check. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, it just went silent, and I got really confused. Sorry. A
character, do a good job, please.
An autobiography by Nick Swan.
Do better.
Oh yes, I got a nat 1 plus 1. That's a 5.
Okay, so as he's starting to row, he just gives that really strong push, and the one oar goes right off the side of the boat and gets carried away down the stream and is gone. So now you have one oar on the thing, so you kind of...
We're going sideways.
It's going to be a bit harder for you to get up there with the boat now, but you could... Someone could put their back end off the back of the boat and doggy paddle.
I will.
Like Bosco.
No, Bosco's too hairy for that. It's gonna be too much drag.
That path is along the side. Is still there?
Yes. You could. Yeah, you could either you could jump to it, or he could even push the boat to the path, without even needing a check right now. If you wanted to push it off to the side instead of trying to make the climb anymore.
Yeah, the truck board will flash up with abandoned ship.
I'll just like you know what, I'm gonna jump out the back and I'm gonna start pushing the boat. Like I'm gonna start like athletic like fucking swimmer mode. Start pushing the boat.
Okay, give me another athletics check then.
God, please stop rolling single digits. I beg of you.
This one at disadvantage because you are both trying to push the boat in the water and swim yourself now.
At disadvantage, you said?
Yes.
Okay, thankfully the worst was a 9, so that's plus 4, that's a 13.
Okay, yeah. So
You're rolling ones with 20 sides, right?
Yeah.
Yes, bitch. I'm not Jess.
He's
I'm not rolling
saying-
12-sided.
Okay. He's saying abandon ship. So Kixon jumps off the back and starts pushing the ship forward up the thing. You see him take a couple mouthfuls of water as he's doing this, but he seems to be getting it at a relative pace. And he starts to get right just as he starts to get up to this top, right when it's starting to level off in that gentle slope when you first started in the boat. You hear like an explosion from below, and this sends like a ripple through the water that actually gently, well, not so gently for you, Kixik, but kind of pushes the rest of you up that last little bit. And unfortunately, though, it tosses the boat upwards, and all of you are able to land. Not damaged, but just uncomfortably land on the ground near the front of this door. And you don't hear anything more. There's silence. There's no more fighting, no nothing from below. You're at this door, and what do you want to do?
Vigorously remove all of the water from my fur. As close to Kixik as possible.
You are hit you are hit with the doggy special.
And then, with my head held high, I will walk out.
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna try to shake the water off, and it's not gonna be as effective, and I'm gonna look like a oversized fat noodle trying to do so, and it's not gonna look good.
In response to your shaking off, he attempts to shake off on you, but
in response, I have a seizure.
It kind of it kind of looks like that for just a moment. Although you are standing up, which is not
usually how a seizure works.
Yeah, not
usually how a seizure works.
So as you come back out of this ground, you are near those unmarked graves, and to a distance, and basically to the east of you is where that carnival was.
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking going to it.
And to the northeast is where the town is.
Yeah, let's go.
It'll be a little bit longer of a walk. You were only about an hour and a half to 2 hours away before. You're probably going to be about 2.5 hours away because of having to navigate the rest of the woods in that area and avoid the carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to this hell carnival where I can get eaten and...
Yeah, no thanks.
They probably got clowns.
They seem like cannibals, so I'm also...
I said they probably have clowns.
Cannibals!
Yeah,
so like the first, Bosco fondly remembers that there was an entire open barbecue pit, and then right next to that there was an entire tent full of explosives.
Yeah.
Firework
powder. Be fucking wild
powder. So,
I'm sure the god of safety has never visited this place.
Yes, there was there was no overseeing of proper precautions for the fireworks vendor there.
So as we're walking away, and now it's a very calm walk because nobody's chasing us that we know of. I'm just gonna walk up beside August and flash the chalkboard in front of her. Have you ever noticed that things get weird anytime we go underground? We should stop that.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna notice. I'm gonna say,
Only
but
high
what if we
places
go in the
from now
sky?
on. Then everything should be great. In theory.
Everything should be
Um,
extra normal.
as you start to make your way through the next big thing that you see, aside for some trees and hills off in the distance, is the very same train depot where you guys got on the train to begin with to go to Rushgrave. The only there are three main track lines. The one that led south, the one that you guys kind of followed to come back up here. A second one that was leading east, but as far as you know, that was never had yet not been completed. But it does go for some distance to the east now, and a third that kind of circles back and heads underground. Uh, in a bizarre situation, like when you were there the first time, there were quite a few people there. Either not so many manning the train going to Rustgrave, but a lot dealing with the train that heads, like, basically brings supplies from underground up. Uh, right now, there's only a handful of guards. There are no active trains there, and you don't really see anybody else at this depot that isn't a guard.
But what you're saying is I can take a train home in the morning.
Yeah, well,
Of course.
yeah, you could take a train. I mean,
gingerbreads, fucking lethal
yeah,
fungus.
but your home is actually only about 10 minutes from this depot. So, or at least the place where you came from is only about 10 minutes from the depot. So,
Oh, you guys want to sleep over my house?
there's no reason to actually necessarily need to take a train to your home from here.
Do a sleepover. Oh my god.
I've got actual beds
Let's do our
without
fucking
gingerbread.
nails. That'll be our hideaway. That'll be our safe house for when the town gets too fucking crazy.
So the plan is to move past the depot, or are you gonna?
Just
Are
go
you
to
gonna?
jail,
Are
and
you
then go to my
circumventing?
house.
Are you circumventing the depot to go to the front gates, or are you gonna kind of pass close enough by it?
I think what we should do is we should probably recuperate somewhere, and I think a safe house would probably be the best way to do that, so we have a
Yeah.
plan as to what we need to do next. Because my sassy juice levels are kind of running low, and I need to know what we need to do.
I have a nice house. Let's go. I've got snacks and blankets and a shower if they exist.
Yeah. Yes. So, kind of. They're
a shower. They exist.
Well, no. You have
All you need is an unseen servant and like a metal bucket with some holes in it.
Well, they kind of have. They kind of have something. It's not there is like a metal bucket with holes in it, but you actually have to have somebody else pour the water.
That's what the
into
unseen
that
servant
bucket.
is for.
So, but they currently do not have an unseen servant, so it's a matter of if you have access to that at the point you could do that. But August, since you kind of know where you're going, you kind of lead everybody past the train depot because you don't want to really deal with those guards or anything, and you just want to head over to the gate. And as you get to this main gate, you do see that recently the outer walls, they're designed in a way that they can rotate, so that positions like towers and stuff can be moved to different, more advantageous positions for defense. The gate is open. The tower's kind of in a neutral position, so you're able to go in. There's nobody like manning the gates right now, which is not uncommon around this time of the year, since like the festival's going on outside and other things are going on. Getting into the city, uh, the uh, first part of the city is actually pretty easy.
Okay.
And the first one, the first part of the area that you get to is they call it the wider gate, and that's basically this whole section is inns and like housings for visitors. Some places are a little more fancy, and those are kind of like special places where like dignitaries might stay or whatever, if they're not going to the administrative area. You do find there are a couple of stores in this area, but this is mostly housing for non-residents of the city, visitors and stuff. So you're able to go quickly through this area, through the throngs of people. You see a pretty good mix of, I think, the people in terms of, you see some people that are clearly very low income, and other people who are in extravagant clothing. But most people just keep to themselves and move about, handling their business and not really paying attention to you. You go past them, and then you get to the first round of houses. These are more lower income, kind of sturdy built houses. They're flat, more rectangular than the other places, and they have, most houses house 2 or 3 families. They're kind of separated internally. And as you pass through here, you do see several. There's like a central hub that leads you to like where the administrative section is, to also to where the Twilight Gate is. Although, as usual, when you see the Twilight Gate, that's an area, from what you know of, that is called like the proving ground. So in general, a whole lot of things are invented there, and a whole lot of things happen there that general people don't go in that area. Generally, people don't go in that area unless you're actually have built something or whatever. So you stay away from the Hall of Gears, because that's where all the administration is. That is actually where the prison and the courts and the guild schools are and things. But you avoid them to go make your way through the crowds over to August's house. And when you arrive at your house, there's nobody there.
Good.
Good.
Were you expecting anyone there?
I would hope there wouldn't be.
Well, you have friends that sometimes show up,
yeah.
but nobody is here. So,
Cool. Yeah. So.
Were you expecting anyone? No. Well, maybe. No.
They kind of just come when they want to come.
Relatable.
But don't.
Yeah, it is actually. Anyway. Yeah, but I've got, plenty of places for you to sleep.
Yeah. It's actually the place that she calls home is kind of it's in a slightly higher quality building than the ones you saw before. It has 3 floors. It's kind of rectangular in shape, but the edges are kind of sanded down, kind of smoothed off, and the first floor is kind of dedicated to, like, there's like a kitchen, like a living room, kind of like just a general like relaxation place. There's a couple of couches and some other things. The other to the top two floors are number of bedrooms. At one time, this house could sleep, you know, just even singly in each bed, 15 people.
Jesus. Can I have like a cat in every room?
Yeah. You could have several. You could have several cats in every room if you wanted.
They're territorial and don't get along.
Yeah.
No. They
Necessarily.
snuggling.
There's Okie Dokie Artichoke.
And Susan.
Fucking
Susan.
stop. Her name's
Yeah.
not Susan.
The last
Okay.
one's name is stupid.
It is. That's why
Okay,
she has to
so-
go.
As you make your way in, you start to get settled and everything. And August, you do hear some noises upstairs, but it sounds mostly like a couple of things running back and forth really quickly. Small pod creatures.
Oh god.
What?
So now that you're here, and this, you can easily rest up, and as far as you're concerned, and as far as you think, there's not going to be any visitors. So
Okay, good.
you pretty much have, you're able to lock the front door, and you have that whole house to yourselves.
Gonna make it warm and cozy, take a bubble bath, do all the things. Get the fungus out of my clothes.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn those clothes, actually.
So you're able to do this, and as a couple hours pass, everybody is able to, with August's blessing, I imagine, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like you're just saying, everybody take a load off, relax,
Do your thing, explore.
For approximately 8 hours.
Yeah. So you get your rest.
I'll order
And-
pizza. Take out of some kind.
Okay. Well, you can place an order. There are places that will bring food to you.
I'll do that.
So
There you go. Eat. Be merry.
So you go outside, you stick your head out, and you see, on the side of the streets, there's often these little courier kids. They, when you call them over, they'll like deliver a message to someone for you for a couple of coppers. Not a big deal. You give them a couple coppers, and they'll go off and do your thing. We'll deliver your message, in town. But these are not kids that you recognize, but you can tell by what they're wearing. That's kind of their job here. So you call one over and you kind of place your order, and they ask you kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And
so, whatever.
You place your order. You place your order, and then a little while later, 3 kids come pushing a cart to your front door. One is a bit bigger and older than the others, and it looks like they enlisted his help to, push this cart over with this food and stuff, and they leave it at your door because they're not by the rules governing their jobs. They're not allowed to go into your dwelling without your permission, first off. And secondly, They're not supposed to go into a stranger's house at all.
No worries. I'll give them whatever, a couple copper each, and I'll bring it in myself. I don't care.
Yep. So you give them a couple coppers each, and then a few moments later, there's a heavier knock at the door.
Okay.
And the larger kid's looking at you, goes, food ain't free, lady.
Yeah, here's some gold, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so you reach in and you give him a couple of the gold coins that you got from that handful that you grabbed along the way out.
There's no way the dragon will come looking for them.
Yeah.
Enjoy!
Yeah.
I'm spending all that shit first.
He takes the money. He gets a big smile on his face. Thank you. There's a bow, and he pushes his cart away. And then you're left with a variety of food and drinks. But you notice there are 3 things that you didn't ask for.
Oh no.
Okay. The one thing in the whole thing, and it is there's a small white flower with a little yellow kind of center to it. That pretty much means to you currently it's a message for you, August, that things are all clear.
Cool.
So it just probably means like nothing is going on in town that you need to worry about at this moment.
Sweet.
Number 2, there is a bottle of dwarven spirits. It looks like it's still sealed, but it looks like it's, if you look at upon the date, it's about 250 years old.
Jesus.
And knowing what you know about the market around here, a bottle like that is in the platinum range of price. Not gold, like definitely platinum in cost. And the third thing is there is an envelope with a paw print on it.
Oh, is it a kitty?
And a crudely drawn dog's head on the back of.
Oh, I think this is for Bosco.
Is that addressed to me? Is that what that should interpret that as?
You get that whatever creature attempted to address this letter did its best imitation of, I got to give this to a dog, so let me draw a dog on here, and yes.
Okay.
So I will hand that to Bosco.
While being insulted about the poor representation of my noble
Is
form.
it a good
Wow,
drawing?
look how
at least?
fucking dumb you look in this drawing.
Oh no! First off, the dog has like crossed eyes. It's like looking at its nose.
Wow, it's a picture-perfect representation.
And secondly, it has one really long dangly ear and one pointy ear, so it's got kind of like German Shepherd ear on one side and like Cocker Spaniel ear on the other. It kind of looks a little bit like Bosco's face, like if someone had drawn it from like the ripples of a pool of water.
But not nearly as judgmental and angry as Bosco actually looks in this exact moment.
Wow, beautiful.
I think this is for you, buddy.
Oh, I'll open it and read it.
So when you open it, it's a little hard to read. It's a little hard to read because what you see, they say like chicken scratch. This is actually drawn, like scratched on by a bird of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as you know, you're gonna have to take time to decipher it.
I'll set it down. Finish my meal.
Comprehend language. I have comprehend languages.
Oh, that is helpful.
I might be able to help.
Okay, yeah. So casting it as a ritual, which I believe you can do, right?
Yes.
Right. So you don't need to expend any slots. You just spend 10 minutes, and she is able to read it. So she'll have to read it to you. But essentially, what it states is it's kind of like a progress report by a very low level person in the office that says they've reviewed the incident at Restgrave and they found no fault on your end,
Duh.
and that you handled things well, and that the chief would like you to come in for minor debriefing and essentially what seems like an accommodation, like not an accommodation. Yeah, you might. I guess the best translation of this is, and it's not very clear in the actual writing. They want to put a shiny on you,
Okay.
like a gold star for something.
Oh, you got a medal.
It appears that way.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I guess I got to stop by the home office. Or I get the branch office.
Yeah.
Home
Branch.
office.
So home office.
The home office
You need a key fob in order to get in.
Celestial, yeah.
No, that's a quite a trip from here.
We
to
need
home
a
office.
gate.
Hey, if you're going there, take us with you.
So you have this meal, and you're able to sit down and have this whole discussion of the prison you're looking for is okay. The prison you're looking for is in the Hall of Gears, which is basically like kind of in the center of this whole town, and also that's the same where the ruling body has their headquarters. The prison's there, the courts are there, the guild schools are there. It's pretty much just business.
Now, I know my way around bureaucracy in general. Is it going to be a problem for us to visit a prisoner here? Do I expect it to be a problem?
I don't think it'll be that much of a problem.
Because
No.
if it is, I have an
Depends
idea.
on which jurisdiction, I guess.
She's accused of being a witch, witches obviously have a familiar, and I will need to go do a wellness check on this familiar if she's actually a witch.
Yeah, to do that, to do that kind of thing, you would have to go to the office and you kind of get a pay. You would kind of get like, it doesn't really mean anything, but you kind of get a letter from your office saying, "I gotta come make this visit," and you think you could get one of those.
Triplicate. I get something. It's notarized. There's a big ribbon seal on it. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and it really isn't. You think it's not super necessary, but it would definitely greatly increase your chance of a prison visit without complications.
So come morning, I guess I'm off to the office.
Good luck getting your shiny.
So the rest of that night, eating and resting and everything. Does anybody else wish to accompany Bosco to?
Hell
his
yeah,
office?
I want to go. I'm proud of that doggo. Like, I want to be there cheering and like wooing in the hallway.
Okay.
Wherever.
Taika, do you want to go along?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, I have the familiar and everything.
Yep. August?
I'll go. Maybe they'll give me a free spell to get Ghost Monkey.
She has now mentioned Ghost Monkey enough times that you actually know, Bosco, that you could probably arrange that.
I think that matching up wizards, spellcasters with their appropriate familiars is part of my job duty. So yeah, that would be we can stop in that wing.
Section of the office. Yeah,
I feel like we're going to the Ministry of Magic.
but you know.
That's very much how I thought about this when I was designing.
Oh my god, yes.
But you do know that you will not. That won't be. You won't be able to do that first because the second you hit the door, your boss is going to want you in the position. Yeah.
Now, also, August, in order for you to form that familiar bond, you need to have an appropriate gift for the familiar.
A banana?
Ghost
banana.
Well, it's technically the casting cost of the ritual.
Oh.
A platinum banana.
A platinum banana would, I think, do the job.
Did we break into that whiskey?
Did you actually? That's the question. Did any of you attempt to drink that last night?
No.
I don't think I did either. I just wanted to go to bed.
Same.
Bosco, by chance, did you try to drink any of that last night?
No. Not unless somebody put it in a bowl for me. And yeah, the gift has to be worth about 10 gold pieces. So a platinum banana would do the trick.
10 gold pieces? Or
yeah, it's gonna
be
10 gold pieces.
I have 10 gold. I have dragon gold.
Yeah. So when you reach into your pouch to kind of count your money after Bosco tells you, you've got some pretty crappy bent up copper pieces in there, that you swear should have been gold, but all of your money is bent up copper pieces now.
Cool.
Well, I'll throw it on the street then. Let the kids have it.
So you see August looking at this and walks out and just starts chucking these bent up copper pieces out at the at the passerby. Yeah, you get a couple.
Oh my god.
So I'll take that 30 back off.
Why don't you? Yeah, why don't you swing a? Why don't you make me like a ranged attack?
I don't want to attack anyone. I just want to throw it on the ground.
Okay.
For the little kids.
Attack the ground.
You chuck these bent up copper pieces. They all look like they have been they were minted a long time ago, and it looked like they're in bad shape, and they wouldn't really be even worth the copper they were made with now.
Well, then I guess I'm
because while you'd have to resmelt them and you'd lose some.
I really don't give that much of a fuck. I still have 40 gold in my real wallet, so.
Do you?
I would hope it didn't touch any of the other stuff.
Check your money.
Oh my god.
Fine, I'll check my money.
Yes, you still do.
Okay. Oh my god.
Derek, you sick bitch.
He is.
You're a homeowner. You got to keep some of your stash at home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I do.
That way there's something for the neighbors to loot.
I don't know what categorizes comfortable, but I'm self-employed and have a sugar daddy.
Yes. Oh my god.
In a completely non-sexual way. No.
So the next morning, you leave out and you head down through the crowds and into the main gates of the Hall of Gears. And as you go through there, you come to the first building, which is the Celestial Bureau of Familiar Affairs, and it is probably a 5-story building. outside is decorated with stained glass. All these stained glasses are various familiars, and they're all in like regal poses. You have like weasels with like just jauntily sitting up with like little hats on their heads, and
Weelo's got like a big old admiral's hat on with a chest full of metal.
Yep, and you've got like you even have like an octopus in a large bowl, and you've got all these various. They're just like they're them to be all somewhat famous familiars that have just been immortalized in the stained glass on this building. And then on the far corner, as if they were attempting to hide this one, there's a slug.
Ooh. Gross.
But it only has one eye stalk.
Oh.
And it looks like it is the worst representation on that whole thing. The stained glass work is not great. It's just relegated to the far back. It's like we know he's famous, but we kind of don't want to talk about him.
Right. He doesn't look like very much, but he can actually see the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's like Psy-Slug.
Psy-Slug.
Yeah. So he's back there, and you guys know like the real story, but they're all they kind of keep him and several of the other slightly less photogenic ones.
Slow lap around the building so they have a chance to gawk at all of the grandeur of this location.
And when you come around one corner, there is a dog that is like the spitting image of Bosco.
Doggo.
Relatives?
Twinsies?
Just
Twinsies?
on this whole thing, and it's Bosco's great grandfather.
Whoa!
Damn,
you look so alike.
Yeah,
you guys have an incredible lifespan.
Straight down to the the little slight differential color in one spot of his fur. That's not it's almost the same.
Well, you see, I'm not really physical dog like you know them. I am a celestial being. So this
You're
form
technically
that I
an
wear,
angel dog.
You're patented.
Yes. This form I wear.
All dogs go to heaven.
Oh my god! Shut up!
No. All dogs come from heaven.
Well,
as you walk in, having seen this thing of Bosco's great grandfather, and you coming through, and you see, initially you expect the whole place to probably be like filled with animals or something, but there's just like this old guy at a desk. The first thing you see, he's got his feet up. He's got like an old suit of leather armor. It looks like it's in okay repair, just been worn a long time. The guy's probably 80. And he's got a little clipboard and club and a little hat that's kind of pulled over his eyes, and he appears to be sleeping, feet up on the desk when you walk in. Beyond that, there's just doors after doors that lead into various offices and other corridors. This is kind of like the entrance way.
I would like to believe there's a desk bell next to the sleeping guard.
There are 3 desk bells, actually.
Okay, I would like to ring one of them, and as soon as he wakes up, I am just like, "Hello, I am Bosco. I am here for a meeting with whoever it was that was on the note. I will need to sign in 3 visitors, and they will need lanyards."
Oh, and just for your reference, Bosco, you don't need a chalkboard when you walk in here.
Well, of course.
Like
Oh fuck,
As
he's
you-
talking.
as
Oh, God.
you can speak. Like in here, you can fully speak.
What the
Uh,
fuck?
and there's the
Bro, this dog's talking.
Bosco's voice also sounds like James Earl Jones.
yeah.
It's a
So-
baby
God.
girl.
So he starts
I
talking.
shiver and I quake
It's the
in
button.
my boots.
And the guy doesn't do like there's not much reaction, but you see one hand kind of come off the little clipboard, reach down, he pulls out like lanyards, sets them on the desk.
Okay, look at
He
the
goes-
Logitech thing right there, and it's gonna take your picture. We're gonna need that for
He
our
goes,
records.
yeah, just don't take them to the avian wing right now. There's a bit of a argument going on. It's that whole flightless flight bird thing again, and there's a bit of a there's gonna be a lot of reprimands
Okay.
later.
I don't know why we're still arguing about this. Penguins are real birds, and they have real rights.
Apparently they don't.
Well,
How dare you?
No,
They
I
kind
didn't say
of-
they don't deserve them. I'm saying apparently, according to this douche.
well, it's not about the penguins this time. It's about that ostrich. That one ostrich that wizard down south wanted. Yeah. He came back.
Wasn't happy with the cavalry package.
No. Well, there was something about the wizard being trapped in hell, and
they'll do it.
and the familiar came back, and let's just say, he didn't have a lot of smarts to begin with, and he doesn't have even half of what he had when he left.
That happens sometimes when your eyes are larger than your brain.
So I would watch out.
Okay.
For that area. Bosses down the road, or bosses down. Yeah, he goes. Bosses down the road, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He goes. God, I was trying to sleep here. Just go. Come on.
Sure.
Boss
Enjoy
down
your
the
nap.
road.
And then, like within just like a moment, he's like back to sleep and snoring, and you're able to like lead them along. You can go the more direct route, which will take you right to your boss's office. It's
Yes.
just one door away. Or
Well-
you can take the scenic route and show them some stuff along the way if you want.
Let's take the direct way there to his office right now.
So basically,
I don't want to overwhelm them with too much spectacular goodness.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm still
So-
freaking out. Like the dog's fucking talking.
here's the secret. You go back to the door and you will it to lead you to your boss's office. Had you willed it to go somewhere else, it would have opened it. It would have led you pretty much whatever path you wanted to go. You know the deal. So you go in and you're right outside your boss's office. There's no guards today. But that's not irregular, because right now there doesn't seem to be a lot of issues going on in the city that require extra security. So, you should be fine. And when you go in, though, you're immediately startled because your boss does not look like your boss anymore. But clearly the person in front of you is absolutely wearing all of the necessary uniform and rank and markings to indicate that they are in charge. But the gentleman that was running this office before has been replaced with she's about 5'5". She's very sharp points to her ears. Her hair is cut very short, very military like. You can tell that all of the ribbons and all of the markings and stuff are like neat and squared away on this thing. She's wearing highly pressed uniform, pair of boots that have a shine to them that not coming naturally. It's definitely magically enhanced. And previous individuals have been more bureaucratic. This is more of a soldierly kind of individual. And she immediately looks at you and hops up from her desk, and she's like, "You're such a good boy."
I know.
Oh my god, this is too wholesome.
She's like, "Okay, here we go. You did a good job this time. I can tell you. They are so happy up above. They're just so happy with what you've been doing.
My tail is wagging full.
Oh
so
my
happy.
god. Oh my god.
You get to pick a prize." And she reaches back under her desk and pulls out a box and just like kind of slides it across the floor. And in it, there are traditional like chew toys and things like that. And then you see like there are a couple like little books and some other things that are not necessarily like dog things. They're more, like a clipboard and some other things. There are also some low value gemstones in there. Things that are probably worth about maybe 10 gold, 15 gold a piece, whatever. But there are also collars in there, and immediately the one thing that draws your attention is there's a white leather collar with like platinum studs on it, and on each platinum stud there's a divine rune on it, and it spells out basically like the seven heavens like across the thing. And it doesn't appear to be like overly magical, it just appears to be very fancy.
The only thing that would distract me away from that is like one of those Saint Bernard carry-on jugs.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god,
give me an investigation check as you got your nose in the box looking around.
This is too... Oh my god, stop. This is too cute.
I'm going to use advantage on that one.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And this time around, I've got a 17.
Yeah. So what you find is there is like a it's not a collar, but it's like a yoke or like for your neck, and it attached to it is like that whole barrel thing. There's nothing in it, but it's there. And it looks like you could actually store the contents of 1 or 2 potions in terms of like volume in that.
Okay. Yeah, so it's... Yeah, that's a good size for a carry-on since, I don't have pocket.
Yeah. So you find that you kind of like can edge it out, and you take it out, and then she comes back. She's like, "That's a good choice. I would have gone with a collar, but And then she grabs the box and puts it back.
I've been on the road a lot, so I need a little bit more carry-on.
And that brings us to our next point. We know that you've been on the road quite a lot now. I mean, since you left the museum and your job there, and we really value what you've been doing. And we're going to have to ask a very hard thing from you. We have several offices that are to the east of here, not as far east as Meadowwild. Several offices that are just not up to standard. So we need somebody who has experience to kind of drop by, kind of check out some things, make sure things are kind of start getting up to our standards. There's been, as you can tell, there's been a bit of a regime change in here, and we're going to run things a little more efficiently than the previous management. But we still want to keep fun. We still want to
Mhm.
keep good employee things. We still want to keep, the positives of the job. But we need to get these cogs in our machine better
Up to
oiled.
regulation.
We need
Right.
them oiled. We need them in regulation because you know how the uppers are about order and things like that.
I'll need all of the available information, and I will absolutely do this for the.
Thank you. And you go, we're running into one little problem, though. Being able to miniaturize the available information so that you can easily carry it, because she turns around, walks to the back of the desk, pulls out a box equally the size of that box of treats that is also stacked probably 2 or 3 times taller with paperwork. Like, we're working on a solution now. We
I
should
have a
have
solution.
that for you.
Kixic, carry that.
Okay, and then I'll carry it.
That is interesting.
I
Did
do
you
anything to
bond
flex
with
my
him?
muscles.
No,
She
no,
looks
he's
at-
just
did you
really
bond?
questionable.
Wait,
It's
I like
good,
to eat
'cause-
my vegetables? What did you just say?
No, I thought the
Oh,
because I thought we were going to have a little bit of an issue because you know the thing about familiars having familiars and well,
No.
that
I'm not-
rule.
No.
I'm
No,
just a
He
buff
has
dude.
free will. He just chooses not to exercise it.
Shut up! Don't rat me out, dude.
She looks at you for a second, and then she walks over to Kixic and she goes, "Is what he's saying true?
I mean,
You're
I like
not
to flex,
you're not
I like to flex my muscles at any point in time, but I also just like to help out my friends because I think it makes me look better.
He's had an advanced class in lifting things.
So look at me for a second. You are not being compelled to follow his orders.
No, not really. I've actually gone against most of his orders, so.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. And and suddenly she turns around and looks at Tychus Fox. It's like, you've been very quiet.
I think he's new.
She.
Yeah,
Is
don't
there something? Is there something you want to say? And like, for a moment, there's nothing. And then the soft voice comes out of the fox. Nah, I'm good.
Nah, bruh.
It just backs up, kind of curls back around Tychus' feet, and just stays there. It's like, yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Perfect.
Love it.
He's
She.
the fox is just here for the tuition program.
Oh my god. Nah, I'm good.
He's not trying to turn this into a career.
So, could we,
Oh my god.
would you mind introducing me? I mean, obviously, you and I, well, you don't know me, but I obviously know you.
Wow.
I am General Sinclair. That is an active rank. That is not retired. And I could show you my flaming sword, but I don't think I need to show you my credentials right now, right? I think we agree that it's pretty obvious what my job used to be.
Scandalous. Huh. I'll show you my flaming
Yeah,
sword if you want.
And you pretty much know this is an angel of some sort. Yeah. He goes, but now I'm doing this now. So I'm making the best of my change in job. And I really do enjoy this work. My predecessor had some interesting ideas. And the only reason that he's left this job is he chose to retire. He was not ousted. He was not, we think he did a lovely job too. But like I said, we want things to run a little more smoothly now.
I like everything I'm hearing about this, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
So now that we've had this kind of formal, informal introduction, would you mind introducing me to your friends?
Well, we've already met Kixick. He lifts heavy things
I love it.
and flexes. It's a lifestyle choice, apparently.
Yeah.
He doesn't even row well.
He does not.
Wow. And I'm gonna be like, wow, guys. Like,
No. It's that's just a growth opportunity for the future.
wow, guys.
And looks over to Taika, and this is
Now, Taika, I've met her the most recent, and because of all the chaotic things that have been happening over the last 48 hours, I've barely gotten to know her.
that's understandable. I've read some of the reports from some of our scouts. Kind of a little birdie told me something, if you will, about what you guys were dealing with over there, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised about a couple of things. Not that you or any of your friends here did anything wrong. I'm just surprised about the nature of some of the things that happened there.
Shit got weird.
Yeah. A lot more than we expected.
Yeah, like devil cookie weird.
Yeah, that was the big thing that we were talking about. Back, upstairs, we were really discussing the fact that you guys almost got killed by baked goods.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Like some real big ones that you even missed.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I do intend on compiling a full report. I just haven't had the chance to sit down and write it out, but I will get that to you as quickly as possible.
And before we go too much further on that, you want to introduce me to your friend over there?
Yes, this is August. I met her on the train alongside Kixick. 2 weeks ago?
Roughly?
Give or take.
Yeah.
I found her to be an extremely competent wizard. And she has expressed great desire to bond with a familiar. Particularly something of the ghost monkey variety. Which suits her specific skill set.
We don't get many calls for those.
So the waiting list should be short.
I've got to make a couple of calls. And we can have... I think we can have clearance within the day.
Right. So should I take her to orientation?
Yes. But is she...
Oh my God.
Is she willing to, or does she have the 8 hours to spend now?
How quickly does time go by here?
About an hour per hour.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Well,
again, depends on how quick we have to do that prison trip.
I mean, she's in jail. She's not going anywhere.
True. Oh my, she's in jail. Okay. She's not going anywhere.
Her whole life is crumbling around her. No rush.
Okay, let me look at it this obviously. It is 8 hours for orientation, and then it's an hour for the ritual. So you're looking at about 9 hours. You're looking at about 9 hours, but there are no lunch breaks. There are a couple stand-ups and stretches. And she will have to do it alone.
Would it be best to finish our business here in town first and then come back here for your orientation process?
Sure.
Okay.
But she should know, and well, you should know. I'm going to speak to you now because I think it's a little rude to talk through Bosco at this moment. You should understand that we appreciate you taking this route and obtaining a familiar, as opposed to that, stepping out in back channels and just going about it your own. So, because having a familiar is a very important.
Yeah, you don't want a scab familiar. You want someone who's got the full union credentials.
Yeah, it's very important because we monitor the behavior of our agents. We give them classes to improve themselves. We make them.
That's how I learned how to knit.
Yeah, we make them.
Oh my god.
We make sure that the bond between you and your familiar transcends a simple spell. We're talking you will have a lifelong companion,
possibly longer,
that will easily defend you to the best of its abilities, will see you through the ups and downs, will be there when your first child is born, will help you move on a Saturday if you don't have any friends. We'll get somebody who has a truck to bring your stuff to the new town. They'll even bring you to the teleportation gate without a second thought about what they had to do that weekend or not. You are
bananas.
Hey, the U-Haul place down the street only had Plymouth Voyagers, so unfortunately that's what we're stuck with.
You will have a friend who will do just about anything for you.
Okay. That's where I'm at right now.
Yes. But you won't. But, she's really trying to give you that hard sell on doing it this way, as opposed to just going outside, getting a scrolling and casting the spell yourself.
When I notice she's pushing the hard sale on a customer that's a client that's already made the decision, I'm just gonna kind of interrupt there. Perhaps we should get started with the background check paperwork, and you can run all that. We have some other business in town. We'll come back when that's processed and get this in motion.
Okay,
background check.
All I need you to do. Yeah, all I need you to do is she pulls out a piece of paper. All I need you to do is put your palm on this paper, and then once you remove it, we'll have all the information we need, and we'll get back with you in a couple of hours to let you know. And look, if Bosco vouches for you, which it seems he does, it's a formality. But, and here's the thing to know.
Can I have a copy of your privacy policy, please?
Well, okay, just a second. Steps back in.
Oh my god.
Pulls through a file. No, this one's out of date. Okay, and then she hands you another sheet of paper. It basically says, we don't tell anybody shit. And that's exactly what it says. We don't tell anybody shit. That's it. That's all. Then she goes, there you go. So
it's not like the Infernal Office where every one of their familiars is guaranteed to spot.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
And there is that small thing about souls and that little clause on page 98 of their newest contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That really caused a bit of those uppers to kind of laugh, because anybody who willingly would sign that, knowing after reading that, they kind of get what they deserve.
Their legal department is insane.
Tell me about it. Remember that? Well, no, wait, you weren't here then. We had a court case just a couple days ago. Familiar, another familiar. It's a whole mix-up. Someone stole something, and like there was an accident, and one familiar was injured, and there was and then
Was that the incident with the turtle?
no.
Oh my god.
I heard that all started with familiar.
Well, that one was a bad one too. But this one actually ended up taking us 84 hours of negotiation with those bearded bastards downstairs. It was just annoying because you know what? The only thing they had there for like refreshments was stale water from sticks, and you know we don't do that.
So this conversation is going to ramble on with us talking shop for quite a while.
Oh yes.
Probably a good time for the camera to fade out.
Yep. So we will cut it. We'll cut it, and we'll actually cut it at this moment Bosco's got his reward. I'll give you the gist of this. You get authorization to come back and do the ritual when you are ready to do it. What that basically means is you've got to spend a long rest there.
Gotcha.
Doing the ritual, they'll cast a spell for you. They'll bond you with a familiar. They'll tell you about care and everything for that. And we'll leave it at that. And then the last thing that does happen before this session ends for the night is in the middle of this whole discussion, one of the kids that you saw earlier in the day, one of the ones you gave the gold coins to before, comes back in and hands you a small red flower, doesn't wait for money, and just walks away.
Shit. Does that mean shit ain't good?
That means somebody wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Stop handing us random things with money.
And they'll be waiting for you in the usual spot. Next time.
The usual
Yep.
spot.
The usual spot next time. Yeah, your front door. That usual spot.
Oh.
Next time. So that's where we're going to end this today. And the entire city of Antwerp is yours to explore when we return. There's a prison to deal with. There's this red flower. There's a ritual to summon a ghost monkey.
Ghost monkey!
And
Ghost monkey.
there are many other things yet to be seen. So why don't we head out? And Rozzy, why don't you do us a favor and start this departure for today?
Alright. I'm Cinder Wizard on Twitter, and I don't do much, but you can follow me. And if you want to play Call of Duty with me and Nick,
Hell yeah.
it's always an interesting time. Cinder_Wizard on PS4. Nick.
Hi there, I am BlueAura94YT on Twitter, or you can find me BlueAura94 on PlayStation, because, hell yeah, if you want to hear me talking about random shit and making Rozzy lose her fucking shit every time we play and laughing hysterically, find me there. Other than that, I'm about to pass out. I'm gonna hand it off to Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. You can find me on Katie Bugs at Instagram, basically anywhere else, but Instagram's the only thing I actively use. That's it. Go ahead, Kevin.
All right. I'm on Twitter as Evil Sales Associate. I haven't been posting that much because there's this Christmas thing that we insist on doing, and it makes retail life a living hell, and I can't sleep. So, also, you can track us down back here Sunday and Monday night. I'd like to say more than most, but it's been a little spotty the last couple of weeks.
Chuck
But
into
we run
holidays and stuff.
Yeah, December is a rough time for D&D consistency. But we run our Curse of the Azure Bonds game on Sunday nights and our Water Deep centric game on Mondays.
It's just titled Waterdeep and then Seasons, so
Yeah, they're in Long Saddle right now, and shit got weird because it's Long Saddle, and that's what happens there.
Waterdeep Long Saddle Edition.
But yeah, that's our thing.
Yep. And I'm Derek. You can find me at Disposable Idiot on Twitter. Just to let you know, this game will come back, a couple weeks from now. I can't say exactly which date yet, but we're going to take a couple weeks off due to holidays and a couple of personal things I got to take care of myself later on. And I want to say clearly to everybody listening, I want to thank every player that's come here today and every player that's been in this game. It's been a joy starting this up for the last month and a half to 2 months that we've been doing this on and off. And it will continue to be a joy, hopefully, going on. Great group of people. They all deserve a hand. I'm not going to clap for you right now, but I appreciate it. So thank you. And everybody have a good night.
Alrighty, have a great night, everyone.
Shut it down.